What's up guys, I finally got my hands on a harsh language role I've been hunting all season, and it's quickly become my favorite special in Destiny 2. So in this video we'll be going over how to get this weapon, what roles you need to get on this scene, and why it's so good overall, and some of the builds I've been using it with. And overall this season it is, honestly in my opinion, the perfect special to pair with a lot of things. So this weapon is a role drop, which unfortunately means there's no way to directly farm for this weapon right now, just from getting legendary engrams to drop, or ranking up gunsmith, things like that, doing the event on the Omuna and opening the secondary chest, things like that. Hopefully in the future there'll be a way to directly farm for this through seasonal engrams, or maybe Banshee will sell some good ones down the road, but right now purely random. You just gotta get kind of lucky. But once you do got this weapon, why is this so good? Well, it's gonna be a void waveframe with some really good perks. So looking at the perks on the left first, there's gonna be about 4 good ones. There's gonna be threat detector, field prep, wellspring, but in my opinion the most important one, envious assassin. And I've talked about this perk a lot this season because it's on a lot of weapons, but I think this is arguably the best case why this perk is so good, because it's kind of like a built-in auto-loading and overflow slash ambitious assassin all in one. And the way you use this is you pull it out and you shoot your 1, sometimes 2 shots, and you put it away, get kills with your primary, and then when you need it again, you pull it back out. There's gonna be 1, maybe 2, or even 3 if you get a lot of kills. 3 is the max. Shots ready to go right when you need it. So really, it's like taking the ambitious assassin from Forbearance and adding auto-loading to it. It really is exactly what you need from a left column perk. Then in the right, you can make the case that every single one of these 6 perks is useful in some way, but the 2 I want to focus on this video will be Repulsor Brace and Destabilizing rounds. So first with Repulsor Brace, because this season this role is so incredibly good with volatile flow from the artifact, where you get the volatile rounds from picking up an orb, and in future seasons if you're playing Void 3.0 with Echo of Instability, getting a grenade final blow will also load your weapons with volatile rounds. So if we look at what that does in the game, so everything we just had going on with the auto-loading slash overflow with the 1 and 2 in the mag, now when we pick up an orb this season or a grenade final blow on Void with Echo of Instability, you get the volatile rounds, and it really turns the scene into the chain reaction Forbearance in terms of accurate, but with an added 8-second overshield when you get final blows. So yeah, this scene is nasty this season. It is so good. It offers some of the best group accurate in the game right now, while also giving you a 8-second overshield. So this season and in future seasons with Void, it is just the chain reaction ambitious Forbearance with auto-loading and an overshield. It is just that good. And the secondary perk on the right I want to talk about is going to be Destabilizing rounds. And while I think this perk is not great for a primary, for this weapon I think it fits it a little bit better, because there's 2 main issues with this perk. 1, it's on a 3-second cooldown, and 2, it only applies volatile to nearby enemies and doesn't actually proc the explosion. But this waveframe kind of solves both. For the first problem, the way you kind of use this weapon, where you pull it out for a group, put it away, and let Envious Assassin do its thing, it doesn't really matter that it's on a 3-second delay. That's kind of how you use the weapon anyways, and more often than not, you're not going to be using it more often than once every 3 seconds. Then the secondary one, where it just applies volatile and doesn't actually make them explode, well, at times with this weapon, when you use it, since it's a waveframe that takes time to travel over the ground, it might kill something, make the things behind it volatile, and then since the waveframe is still on the ground, it will then hit the enemies that are volatile and make them explode. But overall, am I rating the harsh language with Destabilizing rounds higher than the Forbearance with chain reaction? Me personally, I would not. I think chain reaction is still a slightly better overall perk. And if you pair that with Ambitious Assassin, which I have not crafted yet on my account, both of the jail shots in the mag will proc chain reaction, while with Destabilizing rounds, only the first one will get the volatile, then the second one, since it's on a cooldown, will not. So overall, I think chain reaction is arguably better, and the origin trait on Forbearance is a little bit stronger with the health back on hits when you reload. But the harsh language is still a pretty good pick if you want to use volatile after the season not playing Void, or if you don't have a good Forbearance. Me personally, I don't think volatile is that important if you're not playing a Void build outside of the accurate potential. And if we agree that chain reaction is better, if you're not playing a Void build, I think chain reaction is just still the way to go. And if you are playing a Void build, you have access to volatile rounds from your fragment. So at that point, just use that. And I did stumble into one weird bug this season with this weapon, and that is when you're using Volatile Flow from the artifact. As you saw in earlier clips, if you have a Void heavy weapon on, you're good to go and it'll work perfectly fine. But if you don't have a Void heavy weapon on, when you pick up the orb, it does not proc volatile rounds or volatile flow at all, even though I clearly have that artifact mod unlocked and have a Void weapon on. But if I put on a Void heavy weapon, now when I pick up the same orb, as you see, I get volatile rounds, not only for the Void heavy, but also the harsh language, as you can also see with the anti-barrier symbol next to the weapons. Thankfully, this is only a bug with volatile flow and not echo of instability. That works as it should when you just have the harsh language on and no Void heavy. So hopefully that does get fixed at some point, but there are a lot of good Void heavies to use anyways, which leads me to where I've been using this weapon a lot since I've gotten it, and that's going to be with a lot of my Strand builds because I have a Strand primary on, either the SMG or AR. Then I have the harsh language with Repulsor brace. Previously been using a lot of fusions in this build, but this one has definitely elevated to my go-to because I think it offers the same, if not better, accuracy as all the other options, but with that added Void Overshield, so it's just straight up better. And I've been pairing that with the Leviathan's Breath a lot on those Strand builds. Another build that this weapon pairs perfectly with is going to be the Osteo Striga, just in general. Like if you're playing with Warlock with the Weaver's Trance, along with Necrotic Grip, with this build you're going to be getting all kinds of final blows with the Osteo, which means it's going to easily proc the Envious Assassin up to ×2, if not ×3 often. And I pair that with whatever Void Heavy of choice. And as I mentioned multiple times, this weapon is just so good this season with the Volatile Flow. And the next 1 minute and 17 seconds of this gameplay that you see on screen is probably the most fun 77 seconds of Lightfall for me so far. I'm using the grapple build with this harsh language roll. If you didn't watch my grapple build video, you definitely should. This build is so fun and extremely good. And when elevated by the harsh language, it allows you to play even more aggressive with the Void Overshield. It just works so well. So definitely check out that video if you haven't. And now that I've gotten this harsh language roll, this is definitely my special choice for that build. And honestly, overall, my go-to energy special. So the two rolls you should definitely be trying to get at some point through pure luck is Envious Assassin plus Repulsor Brace. Then I would also go for Envious Assassin plus Destabilizing Rounds. I think the Repulsor Brace roll is arguably the best special this season with 40 volatile rounds and will still be just as strong on Void 3.0 in future seasons. And then the Destabilizing Rounds is a good alternative to Forbearance if you want to take advantage of volatile not on Void in future seasons, or if you just don't have the Forbearance. Anyways, I think that's me it for the video. Just a little bit of gameplay left with the harsh language. Like usual, thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.